Welcome to this week's edition of Mainely Motorsports. Here with Greg. They said, hurricane, they said, grab something heavy and hang on. So I grabbed Greg, he grabs me. It was just a big group hug here.
And we're buoyant. We can float.
And we can float like the SS Minnow and the SS Titanic. But both of us the size of the skipper. And we got no Gilligan here. We need Renee to be our Gilligan. But, man, this weather, a lot of the tracks got their racing in.
Yep.
But it was still affected.
Yeah.
The hurricane and Irene and this whole mess still affected what everybody had going on.
Yeah, like Beach Ridge, they shut down the heats and just blasted through the features.
Sped up the program. I was at Oxford, and kind of a shame that the champions didn't get talked to because they crowned their champions. Top three, they usually do top three, but you know what? They'd rather get through the racing and make sure.
Right.
Than to say, well, geez, if they hadn't have done that, then
right.
We'd all been able to race.
Last night was autograph at Beach Ridge, and they blasted through the features and we probably been on the track half hour, 45 minutes for autograph session. So we got the autograph session in, and then it started sprinkling, and it was a mad dash for the pits.
Mad dash for the pits. And speaking of Beach Ridge, boy, they got quite a championship battle shaping up in the Pro Series.
1 week to go, and there's less than 5 points, I think, splitting them all.
Yeah, you got Aaron Ricka, Billy Rogers and Trevor Sanborn all
right.
battling. And a lot of people might not know how that NASCAR deal works, but the champion at Beach Ridge gets compensated very well. They get the trip, they get a bunch of things, and it's like getting a cake. And in second place gets a cupcake, and third place gets a cookie. It's quite a drop off.
Yeah.
In value. So, and then just the fact that it will be somebody's first championship.
Yep, and it's a pretty special experience. That was ours last year. So.
Yeah, so that'd be 2 years in a row with a first-time champion
Yep.
in that division. 3 if you count Mike the year before that, but who counts Mike Rowe? His first championship at Beach Ridge, but he'd have had many of them if he'd have decided to race there full-time in his career instead of Oxford, But I traveled up to Oxford, and, they crowned all their champions on their weekly division, the championship series, they call it, and
yeah,
the acceleration series.
And,
we had some first-time champions, and a little surprising to hear from one guy, pretty recognizable family name up there, that how many championships this was to him. It was only his first. And I was very surprised because he's won races in a lot of different divisions up there. So it was a little shocking. And they had some fireworks, in the Strictly division. The 55, Kurt Hewins, who was a champion, and Vanna Brackett. I guess, and I haven't been there a lot this year, but you listen to people, it's been on again, off again feud. And it escalated last night, and no fists thrown or anything, but people hollering, pointing.
Is Kurt mad because she's prettier than he is?
No, I don't think so. But saluting, and I didn't see it because I was down interviewing one of the champions in the other divisions.
Yeah.
But they said he stopped his car into the front stretch and did a Helio, and Tony Stewart climbed the fence, and But they got a big crowd there, the Hewins and Charles gang. And so it just. But everything was calmed down and all that. But it's one of those things I think is going to carry on for years on end.
Yeah, it probably will. That's just the start of it. So, this is the first time there's really been issues with them.
Yeah, up there. So
this year is the first time. They've had on again, off again, I guess.
So I'm sure they'll get it under wraps and everybody will get under control.
Right.
But, this upcoming weekend, Labor Day weekend, that's always a big weekend to race in and kind of wrapping things up. We mentioned Beach Ridge. They're going to wrap up their championship season.
Yep.
New Brunswick, the diehard Pro Stock fans that want to travel up to New Brunswick, you got the 250 up there. I don't know who the actual sponsor is of it now, but last year Johnny Clark took home a real big payday.
Yeah, I asked Johnny last year after that happened. I'm like, does that transfer into American money? How does that work?
Yeah, pretty close, 1-1 last year, I think. So.
Right.
And then obviously the weekend after, and we're going to touch on more throughout the show, the Mainly Motorsports TV 400, and some pretty excited people. I had the trophies on display the other night at
the go-kart track,
and there's some pretty impressed kids, and even the parents come over and said, "Wow."
Yeah, I saw some Facebook posts about that. I was like, "Oh, they're all getting amped up about it."
Yeah, Todd Mead, who does all of our awards, he actually does Beach Ridge Awards, some other tracks, and he does a great job for me, and does the Driver of the Month awards, which we got to start thinking about that. The race month is over for August, so now we got to see if we can get that done for next week's episode to present the final Driver of the Month award for 2011.
Right, yeah. It's It's coming down to
I
it.
want to thank LKQ for getting involved in that program. I know, I had people last night up to Oxford that, that I had sent the stuff up and they got presented it. But they came up and thanked me, say, hey,
Right.
Juice, thank for the plaque, thank for the sweatshirt.
They have their sweatshirt on.
No,
Yeah.
one of them had his hat on, so
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, So, that's just something to give back. So we got the final winners, and then we get ready for the Northeast Motorsports Expo. We do the Mainleys,
Yeah.
This will be what?
Do I get to vote this year now that I'm part of the show?
Yeah, but the vote is all done online, so you should have already voted.
Yeah, I voted last year.
So you vote again.
Do I get to nominate people? How does that work?
No, we look at the categories. Obviously, the driver of the years, those aren't hard to figure out. It
Right.
usually comes from your champions. But then the categories like most improved drivers, we look at some guys that really stepped up their game this year, whether it's on the tour or on a weekly division. And then we try to come up with like last year, one of the little different category we change each year. One year it was driver you'd like to see most return, and Jeff Taylor won that year. And lo and behold, Jeff Taylor's returned in a big way in 2011.
Yeah.
Last year, best racetrack food. And if you go to the racetrack at Beach Ridge and look in the counter,
yeah.
you'll see the plaque.
The plaque's in there in the pit. Yeah.
So, and Andy Cusack was working the food window that day, huh? So it's a good time, and then we present those at the Augusta show, along with the best appearing cars and some driver of the year awards, and so it's I like to do a little extra during the off season, after the season, kind of reward some people. Some people don't realize how the Mainleys work. I got accused a couple weeks ago by a guy that just said I gave my daughter an award. I don't give my daughter an award. Obviously, maybe she's got a little unfair advantage because she's on here and we talked about and stuff, but she was voted the kart racer of the year. She wasn't no female driver of the year. She was voted kart racer of the year. So,
right.
For that sake, I'll make sure this year that I don't put my kid in any category, even if she does win her championship or whatever. So, and wins one of these big $1,250 races. So I don't want people talking that I do stuff for my kid because I can. Because
aren't parents supposed to do stuff for their kid?
I don't need to give my kid a $10 plaque or a $15, $20 plaque or what it is, just to make. I can go buy her own plaque and call her daughter of the year. It don't matter. So, just kind of bugged me a little bit that I got accused of handing her an award where it didn't. It was voted on by people that went to the internet.
Yep.
So, the more you do for people, the more they just despise you, I guess. So that's just the way life is. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to keep going. And I know some people appreciate it and others don't. So the ones that don't, oh well, sorry. Can't please everyone.
Right.
So, but we got a great show today planned. We got some highlights from the John Phippen Memorial Race, which ran at Unity this past weekend. And, sounded like a good race, but it took a long time to run 59 laps. So
really,
yeah, there was some carnage, some upset people, some rules that they hadn't enforced all year that all of a sudden now start enforcing with the restarts and things like that, which is good, but as long as everybody gets penalized the same way. So in the end, Dylan Turner ends up getting his biggest probably win of his young career. So
did he run around the car
with
the checkered flag?
We'll have to see.
All right.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, it's Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire. dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Award Champs, rewarding your champions, the official supplier of Mainely Motorsports.
Well, Greg, I know this next segment is going to be on the champions up at Oxford. We caught up with 7 out of the 8. But I got to throw a shout out to a guy that, you know, I've always razzed a little bit. And he personifies what racing's all about, really. He tries every year. He puts a good car together. Every year he's able to spend a little more money and put a little bit better piece of equipment under him. Well, last night it looked like it was all coming together for the 84 of Matt Sanborn, you know. Had a great run. Started towards the front.
The Matt Sanborn?
The Matt Sanborn. You know, your favorite UPS driver.
Drive that truck, Dale.
Yeah, started right up towards the front, you know, first 3 or 4 rows. Worked his way to the front. Caught Kerry Martin, who's won a lot of races at Oxford. Past Kerry Martin, was pulling away, checking out. Well, here comes Taylor. Here comes TJ. Here comes Sean Martin, you know. So, but I really, really believe that he, had there not been a caution, was going to be able to hold them guys off, because they were going to have to catch him, but they were also racing each other, so that's going to slow him down.
Right.
2 to go. He's third, battling Sean Martin to hang on to that podium finish, even though there wasn't going to be a podium. Probably would have been his best career highlight, you know, best career finish.
Right.
Buzzed the tires coming off 2 down the backstretch. Did a great job of staying off Sean Martin. That's his first, you know, he wants to stay off Sean Martin, spins himself out, you know.
Right. I saw his Facebook post after the race the other night.
Yeah.
And he flat out admitted on his Facebook post that he goes, I spun myself out of probably my best finish, you know. I
respect the guy that admits that. You know, he could have leaned on Sean,
right.
used the 8 tires are better than 4 theory,
right.
But he didn't, and what a great job. And I tell you, I was pulling for him, as was anybody that really knows racing was pulling for him. Obviously, we all got our favorites in every class. But
I've been friends with Matt for a long time.
I would have liked to have seen Matt, you know, cap off his year. But he, you know, I went down and talked to him after. You know,
I could see his dad, Randy, on the hill screaming.
You know, I said, hey, dude, what a run. Really be proud of yourself. You know, not coming from me means anything, but, you know, where we do travel to so many different racetracks. And, you know, he really did a great job last night. He's pumped up for next year. He's ready, you know, and that's what's good. Now you've got a guy coming into the 2012 season, pumped up, ready to go racing at Oxford Plains Speedway.
Yeah, keep it in one piece and go get it.
So great job to Matt. You know, I just wanted to throw that shout out. But the champions, they crowned 8 champions last night. We got 7. We missed one. They, you know, it's just so hard they just run off and then they're not around. But we'll talk about that at the end of the next segment. But enjoy these next 2 pieces on the champions from Oxford, and as it's that time of year where the champions start getting crowned.
Right, yep.
Hey, Deanna Bisbee, the champion in the Ladies League up here at Oxford. Talk about your season and what it means to be a champion.
This has been the best season I've ever had. Honestly, I really had to do an attitude check. I've been a little fiery in the past. I got 4 wins, 5 seconds, and this has just been an absolutely amazing season. I couldn't have done it without Bill and Chris and Kevin, Travis, my mom, my dad, my daughter. Everybody's just been absolutely wonderful. This means the world to me, and this officially makes the first mother-daughter set of champions.
It looks like you could have forced the issue tonight and gone for the win, but you didn't. You decided to settle for second, and now you call yourself a champion.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I could have gone out and I could have won. I could have ran her hard and probably, you know, made some contact, but I didn't want to take a chance on taking myself out. I only needed to finish 7th at the 34-1, so there was no point in wrecking people.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your 2011 championship.
Thank you.
Quite a big smile here we got here on Gerard Cody. I guess that means you must be a champion, huh, Gerard?
Yep, second championship for this.
Pretty big deal anytime you can win a championship. Talk about the 2011 season.
It's been a great year. Actually, it's a brand new car. I just built it for this year, and 4 wins, 3 seconds, bunch of thirds. Never finished out of the top 3 yet. So.
Yeah, and then to go out tonight, and you didn't really need to do anything special, just kind of start the race, but you decided you were going to go win it, and win it you did.
Once I got the green, it was over for the championship, so I had nothing else to do but win.
Yeah. Now you talk about some people behind the scenes making this all possible.
My uncle and he helps me a lot. My dad's been in a wheelchair for 4 years. He usually helps when he can. And my cousin Roger, who owns Roger's Auto, he's my big sponsor. He does everything to help me keep the car running.
All right, well, congratulations on your second championship in the Renegade division.
Thank you very much.
Here with the champion here in the mini stock division, Daryl Moore, wrapping up his first championship tonight, and it wasn't easy, was it, Daryl?
No, it wasn't. We struggled there towards the end of the year, lost our handling, and pulled it together and just hung on towards the end there.
Yeah, and then in the first lap there, the front row came together and kind of shuffled everything up, and you had to see everything flash before your eyes.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. Just wanted to hang in there towards the end.
Yeah, you did. You found a comfortable spot, fourth, and just rode it out. And talk about the season and some of the people behind the scenes helping make this possible.
Yeah, I'd like to thank especially my dad. He works real hard on the car, and Mark and Wildco for sponsoring us, and JMB Burner Service helped us out here at the end, and definitely like to say hi to Wayne. Wish he could have been up here this year. Thoughts are with him.
All right, well, congratulations on your 2011 championship.
Thanks.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your main returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Scott's Recreation, now at 3 convenient locations. Go to scottsrecreation.com to view their inventory. Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
Okay, Billy, you've been racing a long time. You just wrapped up your first championship. Put into words how it feels.
Well, I don't think it's really hit me yet. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that say that I had to drop down to this class to do it. I really didn't drop down to race for points. I dropped down because I had a lot of problems going on this year in my life, and I wanted to race. I wanted to find fun again and race it, and I found it again. And now that I found it, won the championship, I'm going to go back to racing late models next year and see how that turns out. But this is awesome, man. I got to thank my cousin Rich. He does a lot for me. My mom and dad, Lucas Oil. My brother paints my race car. There's just so many people that help, and I just can't say enough for them all.
Yeah, at any level of racing, it costs money. It doesn't matter what class you're in, and this class is no cheaper than the next one.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's supposed to be, but to compete, you've got to do what you got to do. You know, I mean, it's pretty tough. There's a lot of guys out there that are fast, and you got to do it. There's a lot of homework involved in these cars because they have so many rules, and you gotta get there somehow. So mean, I've been pretty fortunate. I got no DQs this year. They've had a couple, you know, bad races, but other than that, it's been a really good year.
All right, well, congratulations on your 2011 championship.
Thank you.
Okay, Kurt Hewins, let's talk about these back-to-back championships in this always tough Strictly division up here at Oxford.
Yeah, it's a good time up here. Last year was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of issues this year. I got awesome car owners, Scott Brewer and Eric Brown. The boy finished second right behind me in points. This is just awesome. It's just too bad that everybody can't get along.
Yeah,
It's bad.
you know, you have that at racetracks, but you brought it up earlier in the conversation, and I was going to. Let's talk about the next generation of Hewins. I mean, Ryan, to start off the year, started slow, and then he come into it, and to finish as strong as he did and end up runner-up in points to you, Rookie of the Year. I mean, you got to be so proud of him.
Oh yeah, I am. I don't know. I'll probably have stepped aside pretty soon. We've been talking about a late model and stuff for him, but I don't know. Van is moving up and stuff, so we're going to stay away from that. I don't know. We'll probably give him another year or two in this, and we'll probably go late model, and I'll step to the side and help him out.
All right, well, congratulations on back-to-back championships.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, it took 26 years, but you can now call yourself a champion. How's that feel?
That feels pretty good, you know, for White Lightning Racing and the White family and all these people that have been backing me up all my life and just keep sticking with me and helping me and pushing me, and it feels awesome. It really feels awesome.
And that's what people don't realize. I mean, obviously the driver's the one that gets all the laurels, but there's a lot of people that made this possible, not only this year, but over the years, and you just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, it all come together finally this year. We got the monkey off the back, and we got our first championship, but it's been a long time coming, and I got to thank like Johnson's Auto, Steve's Auto, and Phoenix Welding, and all my sponsors. Every one of them helps out, but I really got to thank Alan Grass, John Layton, Lenny Thompson, Bill Williams, Bill Abbott, Russ Gilbert, my wife, and everybody that helps on this team. This is an awesome team, and I hope I can keep us together for a long time.
Yeah, and you know, what a phenomenal 2011 you had. You won an ACT race, won a championship, ran well in the 250 till you had a flat. I mean, it don't get no better than what you did this year.
No, we've had a pretty good car, and we had a lot of help from Distance Racing, and we work on it ourselves. He gives us pointers and sends us in the right direction, and we do it ourselves right at my home. So I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of the guys.
All right. Well, congratulations to you and your whole team.
Thanks.
All right. Champion of the Running Rebels division. I mean, you didn't have it handed to you.
No, it was a rough year.
Three of you came in tonight tied. You had to be the first one to finish, and you were.
Yeah, it was definitely a very nervous race. I've never been that nervous, and I think it was worse than my first race I was ever in, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the two got to your bumper with about 3 or 4 to go, and it didn't look like you had the car to get around the guy in front of you, but you were able to hold him off, and now you call yourself a champion.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. The 46 definitely wasn't holding his line very well, but that's all right. We held on to it. We got it. That's all that matters, finally.
Yeah, now you must have some people behind the scenes that make this all possible.
Yeah, my brother, all my sponsors, definitely. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to do it, that's for sure. My brother, Craig, for sure, he helps out a lot. Otherwise than that, I do a lot of work to it myself. That way there, nobody knows what I do.
All right, well, congratulations on your 2011 championship.
Thank you.
Well, we have it, 7 champions, some first-time winners, some back-to-back winners, some guys that probably not going to be the last championship they ever win in racing, and a young lady that got it done. So congratulations to them. The one we missed was the truck division, the number 69 of Ryan Farrar, or Farrar, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but tell you, he as you see in some highlights here, he wasn't looking good at the beginning. I think he kind of forced the issue a little bit, put himself in a situation, and I don't know if the guy was doing it purposely. I don't think so. I think because later on when he got around the guy to race him, there was no issues, you know. But got really forced out, almost crashed, but regrouped, gathered it back up, raced his way back into that championship clinching position.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to get up on the wheel and do what you got to do when it comes down to the big payday.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things you didn't see the highlights of Billy Childs when he did it, but man, he did the same thing. You know, I'm like sitting there holding my breath. I go, dude, this guy's lap 5 of a 20-lap race. I don't know if he needs to be doing this, but he got a lot of experience around Oxford. So I guess if anybody can do it, it's Billy Childs. So
right, yeah.
Congratulations to each and every one of those champions, and you know, the champions that are going to continue to get crowned throughout the rest of this season on all the tours and all the tracks. We're going to take a break. We come back. We got some highlights from Unity. Have some guys that had some nice things to say about John Phippen and you know, the John Phippen Memorial.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainely Motorsports.
Have a ticket but need a ride? Let VIP take you to the hottest events, including Entertainer of the Year, Taylor Swift at Gillette Stadium, June 25th and 26th. Or country music superstar and Grammy Award winner Kenny Chesney, August 27th. And September 25th, don't miss the NASCAR Sylvania Sprint Cup at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Leave the driving to VIP and let VIP take you to the hottest events. Call or reserve online at VIPchartercoaches.com.
At Southern Maine Motors, we're celebrating Jeep's 70th anniversary with our spring events. Get the vehicle you want at a price no one else can touch, like a 2011 Jeep Compass, lease for only $239 a month for 39 months, or a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, lease for only $299 a month. Plus, right now, used car values are at an all-time high. Bring in your own vehicle and drive off in a brand new car. With savings this big, it's no wonder Southern Maine Motors is out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer. Visit southernmainmotors.com.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by LKQ Corp. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Now, we talked last week and earlier in this week's show about the Wally Gibbons camp. They put that John Phippen Memorial Race kind of
right.
Like
yep.
I hate to use the word throw together because that makes it sound like there wasn't a lot of work and effort and professionalism.
There was a lot of work into it because they did it in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, they did it real quick and did a lot of nice things up there this past weekend, and a lot of happy people, and all the money went back to the races, so everybody was taken care of up there. So we presented an award that you'll see in some of the highlights. It's we presented the Old and Tired Award and worked with Nick Huff and his group, and we're going to talk about that more on the next week's show and maybe get a word with the winner. And we looked at a guy that had a body or a car that was a little used up, and
right.
but he was putting his money where he needed to get to the racetrack.
Right. Yep.
Will Collins, number 25, was the one they decided. They presented him with the plaque, the Old and Tired plaque, the John Phippen plaque, and with a gift certificate towards a lettering job next year for the start of the 2012 season. So I appreciate Nick Huff and his company. I'll get all the information and we'll get a piece together on that. And so that's there's a guy that personifies what John Phippen was.
Right. Yeah.
Let's get it to the racetrack. Let's just get it there. Don't worry what it looks like. Duct tape's cheaper than vinyl and fenders
right.
and all that. So really wish I could have made it up there because I think it sounded like it was a real good time.
Right. Yeah. They had 3 weeks. They put it together and they pulled it off. So I mean, really, and they had a great finish from what I heard.
Yeah.
So what more can you ask for?
No, what more can you ask? So we caught up with some guys up there that were racing friends of John's.
Right.
See what they had to say. John's wife, John's daughter spoke, Wally. And then when we come back on the next segment, we'll show you some highlights of the race in action, and you'll hear from the top 3 in the John Phippen Memorial 59-lap race at Unity Raceway this past weekend.
My name's Chris Marley with Mainly Motorsports. We're here at Unity Raceway today for the John Phippen Memorial Race. We've caught up with Scott Pooler. Scott, thank you for taking a couple minutes with us. I understand that you knew John quite well. Could you share with us in a few words about John and what your favorite memories of him were?
Well, yeah, John and I were probably best friends, or close to it. We've known each other for a long time. John was one of these guys that loved to race, never got angry, helped anybody regardless who you was, what you were doing. It didn't make any bit of difference. We hung out away from the racetrack as well. In the fall, he'd come up to my camp, we'd go hunting for a week, or hang out for a week, supposed to be hunting. Come up in the winter and go snowmobiling. Raced together for years and years and years. More so, I was helping him until I got back into racing. I bought a new car, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and the day that I bought it, we delivered it to Wiscasset for a 150 lap race, and John got in it and drove it and ended up finishing 6th with it. He was just one of them guys that would help anybody live to race, I think, and he loved it. I mean, the race is never going to be the same without him. I mean, John was just one of those guys that everybody loved. Nobody ever had a bad word to say about him. He loved it. I mean, I'm going to miss him forever. We talked every Tuesday and every Thursday. Now we don't do that anymore, so I can't. So wherever he is, I hope I'm with him soon, and we're going to keep racing in his memory, and that's the way it's going to be.
Scott, thank you, and thank you for being a part of this memorial race today, and we just wish you the best of luck out there.
You're welcome.
We've caught up with Dave Sinclair over here in the pits, and Dave, thank you for just taking a couple minutes with us. I understand you knew John quite well. Could you just share with us a little bit about what might be your favorite memory of John?
Well, there's a lot of favorite memories of John. He raced for me. I run Wiscasset Raceway for 18 years. He raced with me. Brought me down there. I raced with him before that. We raced at Spud, and we raced all over. My favorite thing about John Phippen, you knew when his trailer pulled in, you wasn't going to starve because he always had plenty of food in the trailer. You never went hungry. Debbie just wouldn't let that happen. And but John was a great racer, a good friend. I mean, we've done a lot of things over the years. We went to the dances, the banquets, and we raced together and always had a good time.
Okay, Dave. Well, thank you so much for taking that moment to share with us, and we wish you lots of luck out there today.
Thank you. We'll be winning this one for John.
There you go. We've caught up with Brian Robbins here at the pit, and Brian, thank you for just taking a couple of minutes to speak with us today. I understand you knew John quite well, and could you just tell us a little bit about that? Also, what your favorite memory of John is?
No, I knew John. He raced for a lot of years, and I watched him as a kid when I was growing up, and you know, I finally got a chance to race with him in the late models at Wiscasset. And there was a night down there. There's a Boss Hog 100, I believe it was. And John came into the tech check before the race in the driver's meeting, and he had a towel wrapped around his right leg with duct tape. And I kind of laughed and asked John, you know, what it was for. He didn't really say anything to me. He said, "Come see me after the race." So about 75 laps into the 100, I figured out what John was talking about. By the end of the race, I had a big blister on my right leg where the towel would have been. John just looked at me and he goes, "Well," he said, "you learned something, didn't you?" So it's pretty smart man. So
okay, well, thank you, Brian. That's certainly a good story. We've heard a lot of great stories over here today about John, and thank you for being a part of this memorial race, and we wish you the best of luck out there today.
No problem. Thank you.
Here with Debbie and Monica Phippens at the John Phippen Memorial Race. Thank you, ladies, for taking just a couple of minutes with us. As we remember John tonight through this memorial race, can you just tell me in a few words what this means to you, Debbie?
It means that for almost 30 years we accomplished our goal, which was to be respected in the racing community, and I feel that we've done that. I think we always did that, but it's nice to have people recognize that we were good within the racing community.
And Monica, your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are that we really wanted nothing more than just to be recognized, but we also found that it was really nice that people do remember my father today, and that it does mean a lot to us, and it takes a toll on a lot of people on how well he is remembered.
Well, I know we talked to a lot of folks today, and there's a lot of memories and a lot of great stuff that we've heard today. Has been pretty great. So thank you, ladies, for taking the time, and God bless.
Thank you.
Caught up with Wally Givens, the promoter of the John Phippens Memorial Race, and we want to thank you, Wally, for taking just a couple of minutes to speak with us today. Wally, tell us a little bit about this event and what it means to you.
Well, about a week and a half ago, I called George up over here, and the fans and the racers over here, they wanted to do something to commemorate John. So they got together and they're going to have a John Phippen night, and we started off with a John Phippen night, and now it's a John Phippen 59, and the racers got together and decided that they wanted to have a race to, you know, commemorate what John had made in the racing community. So what they did, they got together and they raised money to pay $50 a lap for this race, and then they got some associate sponsors together to pay the field back.
And so how was the money raised for the most part for this event, Wally?
Okay, they attracted either drivers or businesses and stuff and asked them to donate $50 a lap. So each lap we have over here today of the 59 laps, they're going to pay $50. And then we got this idea of having associate sponsors. So some of them are in memory of like Mikey Harnish, Marty LeBlanc, all kinds of drivers in the past that have raced here at Unity Raceway that we wanted to kind of remember on the John Phippen night.
Good. And so what's in the future as far as these memorial races are concerned?
On the Long John right here, we were lucky enough to have Unity Raceway picked to have the New England Alan Fletcher Mini Stock Championships here to decide who's the best mini stock racer in New England. And today we just got the trophy there. The first place trophy is going to be 8 feet 2.5 inches tall. We're going to run 50 laps. We're going to pay $23 a lap. And we haven't really got all the money into the purse, but what we're shooting for is a goal right now to pay the winner $2,323 to win a mini stock race. And then next year, on Father's Day, we're hoping to have the late models run a 150 lap race over here in memory of all fallen drivers. And then next October at the Long John, we're going to have another race to commemorate, to find out who's the best mini stock driver in New England and hopefully the country.
Well, good. Well, Wally, thanks for all that you're doing here for the local tracks in Maine, and thank you again for just taking a few minutes with us.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
Teacher, car salesman, take advantage of me.
You didn't go to Ospey Trail?
No, I went to the other guys.
Other guys.
Don't bother going to the other guys. Go to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
sold a few laps, man. It's got to feel good right now.
Yes, it does. It don't get any better than this.
All right, one of the biggest moments in the career of the young race car driver, just out of high school. It's got to be kind of rewarding to break a kid in and have this kind of success.
I'll tell you what, this boy's come a long ways from when he started. He's done a hell of a job. Hell of a job.
All right, Mike Gulliver, he's the driving force behind this team effort.
He ain't officially won the race yet.
I'll tell you what, there ain't nothing illegal about that car.
No, sir. He ain't officially.
All right.
He hasn't officially won the race yet, so he does that.
Yeah.
That's right. He got to run around.
Dad won last week, and there's still one more victory lap to come. As he's out of the car, how about a big round of applause, Dylan Turner. All right, here's the Big John victory lap. He's got the 59 flag and the checkered flag.
We'll go over here.
All right. Can we get the trophy and the winner over this way? Come on, where the crowd can see you. Big hug from Mike Gulliver.
This way, this way.
All right. We'll get this trophy presentation out here on this side of the car so the crowd can see you. And let's have a couple of words with our winner. This one's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. Man, what a long race that was. Holy cow.
Yeah, you actually earlier trouble there. You were up in front, got involved in a little incident, had to go to the back, and man, you almost had to be surprised that they kind of cleared the path for you to get back into contention.
Yeah, it was. I mean, tough luck for all those guys, but I mean, good for us, but I don't really know what to say.
All right, you've been a winner before, but this one here has got to be probably the biggest win of your career.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this is a good win for John and all them guys and his family. I don't know.
All right, how about a big round of applause? He's our John Phippen 59 winner. The Big John 59, Dylan Turner. Move on and have a quick talk with our runner-up. Cassius Clark, first Unity appearance of the year, first late model appearance of the year. Man, started at the back and it looked like it was your race.
Yeah, you know, that deal on the start there, that 21 car, he jumped the start, you know, on me, and we were changing the motor, the driver's meeting there. We blew up, 7 laps into practice, and, the guys worked their ass off getting the motor back in the car. And I just thought, Lee's, supposed to start the race or whatever, and he was taking off, so I took off. I hate that guy got banged up there on the start, but I didn't know what happened. But, he jumped the start 3 times, and they gave him his spot back, and we jumped it once, and we had to go to the back. But, hey, we're the new guy in town, so, we came back. Those guys had a good race, but I think we had one of the better cars, and, this is the first time I've ever been in a late model.
All right, yeah, first time in a late model. We hear you might be ready to tell us some other news here of interest to the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been racing it at all this year, much. We kind of lost our ride up here, and we're going to run for Hype Motorsports at Oxford and then the full Pass North tour next year, so really looking forward to that.
All right, Cassius Clark second today. How about a big round of applause for our runner-up? As we mentioned, the Skowhegan Height team and Cassius teaming up at the end of this year and for next year. And then another guy grabbed a lot of lap money and really had one of the cars to beat, Josh St. Clair. Rough way to end it, but still a third-place trophy and pretty good paycheck.
Yeah, it was nice getting out there and leading them laps. I couldn't run on the bottom, and when Dylan got up there, I got into him there. I'm glad to see he got the win because he deserved it, probably. I ran into him there pretty bad and screwed us both for a little bit there, but we got back up through. I got to thank my grandfather, Dave's World, all the fans, and John Lenahan and the guys that put on this show, and thank George for having us here. And and that's about it, I guess.
All right, and of course, third place finish. You came back here after taking a couple of months off from the Unity Wars and won your first night out. So the track and the tires must agree with you.
Yeah, the car's always gone well here. The first night I got in it that 1 year and just liked it here, and everywhere we've gone really. But yeah, the tires work good. They never seem to fall off. You got what you got from the start to the end, so that's one good thing, I guess, about them.
All right, he's third today. How about a big round of applause? Josh St. Clair, third in the Big John 59.
Thinking about a new camper? What if you could get a new camper now and not pay for it till next year? Now you can at Scott's Recreation. Buy a new travel trailer, we'll make your payments until January 2012. Buy any new fifth wheel, we'll make your payments until March 2012. Over 100 units in stock and online at scottsrecreation.com. Camp now, pay later.
Scott's Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Is it time to replace that old car, but past credit problems are getting in the way? At JT Motors, credit issues are a thing of the past. We have vehicles for any need. Growing family? How about a minivan? With winter here, come in and browse our great selection of four-wheel drive utilities. With a low down payment, you can qualify for this program despite those past credit issues. That's JT Motors, 650 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, where you always drive away with a smile on your face.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports. Want to talk to, and I don't even know if I told you this, Greg, so you might be just learning about this. We're starting a new segment. It's a time of the year. People looking to sell race cars, buy race cars, move up, go down a class, right? But they need to do something with what they already have. So we're going to start the Mainly Motorsports Buy, Sell, and Trade segment, brought to you by Uncle Henry's. I mean, how fitting to get Uncle Henry's to jump on board and try to peddle some
product for some people.
Yeah, you know, people looking, and you know, what better way to put it out in front of the whole state, viewers, race cars. If you got a race car, put it out in front of race car people, and a little bit of what you got to do. We're going to have it. You'll be able to go to the website, which is mainlymotorsportstv.com, and anybody that's missed past episodes can now go to the website, and they are right on the front. Each week's episode is on, and then the last 2 months episodes are on there, so you can catch up. But it's mainlymotorsportstv.com. Noah Mark's doing a great job. Obviously, Dave Stewart doing a tremendous job doing the editing and getting working with us and all the screw ups that I do. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. You can't imagine. People who've been involved with me know what I put you through, but hey, it's a joyride, right?
I took it, you know, so I brought myself into it.
Yeah, but Uncle Henry's going to sponsor this new classified. You'll be able to get more information off the site. But in a nutshell, you send us 3 pictures of your race car, your racing dragster, your street car, whatever you got, and a check or money order. The pictures obviously come through email. Send a check or money order with a description for $30. We're going to read this description on air. And then also included in that is it's going to go in the Uncle Henry's with a picture. You know, so you're getting, not only do you get your product aired on Mainly Motorsports, you're getting it aired on Uncle Henry's.
Twice the value.
Twice the value for $30. So, I mean, I don't know what they get to put things in the newspapers.
I don't either, but
and things like that. But it's, I think it's pretty good. So we're going to debut that in the next couple of weeks. So be thinking about if you got a race car you want to sell, you know, just send all the info right in here to the Mainly Motorsports Buy, Sell, and Trade, brought to you by Uncle Henry's.
Good day.
Hey, good day, you know. And then the motel thing. You know, I've had people that have already taken advantage of that.
Right, for the weekend. The good opportunity is the weekend of the Mainly Motorsports 400.
Anytime. Just call one of those 5 motels that are listed on the website, or you'll see here, you know, and just tell me you want the Mainly Motorsports rate, and $73.50, provided it's on a blackout date or already filled up. That's pretty good rate for a motel that are first class motels. You know, obviously not your Waldorfs and all that, but we don't have those around here. But these places are nice, and we've already stayed at the Parkwood Inn. I've stayed at obviously the Comfort Inn, the Holiday Inn, what used to be the Holiday Inn, which is now the Best Western up there next to Roosters.
Right.
And you know, between the continental breakfasts and the maid service, everything, it's well worth the $73. And
yeah, and it's a good deal, and people can get away. And it's up on the back screen right now.
Hotel chain. And you mentioned it, it's coming week after next.
Yep.
The Mainly
September 10th and 11th.
The Mainly Motorsports TV 400, and the buzz is there. I'm starting to get phone calls now. People from Connecticut, people from Massachusetts, New Hampshire want to make sure they understand all the details, how everything's working, qualifying procedure, the heats, the features, what's going on, and I think it's going to be a good one, Greg.
Right, and you're going to get your big crowds, and the thing that's great about the Mainly Motorsports 400 is it's like this big family atmosphere, because that's what go-kart racing is, but it's like this big family atmosphere, and everybody kind of chills out, and you get there and qualify and hang out on Saturday, and then Sunday's the main.
Not only do you see some of the racers that are there with their kids that are now racing,
right?
But I remember last year walking around the pits and saw some Beach Ridge competitors up there checking it out.
Just
a lot of these guys came from go-karts, so they know what it's all about.
A lot of races will show up because it's like the end of the year for a lot of tracks, and races when it gets down to the end of the year, if there's a race, if they're racing something, they're going to it to get their fix built up before
a racer.
Yeah.
So we're real excited about it. I think it's going to be a great time. Not to mention, $1,250 to win the senior sportsman class and the minimal unrestricted. Now, if you got your big boy pants on or your big girl dress and you win both those races, I'm giving you a $500 bonus. It's kind of like putting a little carrot out there. Hey, think you can do it? Well, somebody could go home with $3,000 for an afternoon of go-karting.
Right.
That's not a bad payday.
No, that's a pretty good day.
Where can you go and race? How many races
can you
race? Okay, maybe the 250 where you could win the race and take the money you want and buy a new car.
Right.
This is where you could take your money and go buy a new go-kart. Obviously not the motor, but a brand new go-kart with off your winning. So that's
right.
And then to mention the little kids, all the stuff that goes along with it, and these kids racing in front of a big crowd. That's what I really get excited about.
Yeah, and it is a big crowd.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's going to be a great time, September 10th and 11th. Go to my website and click over to, we have a special website for that, www.mmstv400.com, and it's got all the details, procedures, times, sponsors for that weekend. We got a lap board. Anybody interested in helping out and helping sponsor the lap board in the money races, it's $25 a lap. You can contact me, maybe I guess that's a little bit of a sales pitch, but we're trying to fill it up. That's how we're paying the big money, and so that way if only 6 carts showed up, somebody's going to win $1,250.
Right. That's going to be a good day.
It should be a good day, so I hope so. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to be right back, and we're going to wrap up this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports and talk about what's going on in the great state of Maine
this coming
Labor Day
weekend.
At Southern Maine Motors, we're celebrating Jeep's 70th anniversary with our spring events. Get the vehicle you want at a price no one else can touch, like a 2011 Jeep Compass, lease for only $239 a month for 39 months, or a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, lease for only $299 a month. Plus, right now, used car values are at an all-time high. Bring in your own vehicle and drive off in a brand new car. With savings this big, it's no wonder Southern Maine Motors is out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer. Visit southernmainmotors.com.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
So, this is the upcoming weekend, the Labor Day weekend, when starts closing up. And one of the first things to come right off is the big gun shootout at the Oxford Mud Runs.
The big guns will be out at
Right.
the big gun shootout. I've
Right.
already been promised that, so it's going to be a great time up there at Scott's Trailer Sales, right up there on Route 26.
Yeah, and they got like 9 divisions.
Paying some big money.
Paying, I think it's $7,300 minimum total purse.
Yeah.
So and Mud's going to be slinging.
And the Penfolds will be there with theirs.
Big Ray's going to go for the big guns.
Yep.
And get the money and go out of there.
Yeah, if he gets a big trophy, sees some big guns, and does some big mudding, he'll
have a good day.
Perfect weekend. But the skimmers, they get so much up there, and it's all the information's on screen as to who you contact as far as if you got questions, and if you got it and you think it'll go through the mud, just go,
Right, yeah. It's this coming weekend, and it's
the 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, they have a Facebook page. It's Oxford Mud Run, and
it's just so much, and it's fun. It's just fun to be around,
Yeah.
And I've done it a couple times.
And there's going to be some mud because Irene's leaving some wet weather.
Yeah, so that's right up on Route 26, just past the Speedway. You'll see Scott's Trailer Sales. It's right down in back.
Right.
I think there's camping. There's no hookups, but camping all weekend. It's going to be a lot happening.
Yep.
There'll be a lot happening there. And then obviously you'll be at Beach Ridge wrapping the year up with the Naughty 40 gang.
Yep. And all the points battles are tight.
Getting tighter.
Just closed up last night. I mean, I don't even think we mentioned the winners from last night at Beach Ridge yet, which we had Andy Field, who's had a horrible season with engines and transmissions. And
finally picked up a win.
Yeah, he got his win. He held off Copra and Tasha Dyer and the Roadrunners.
Yeah, after running runner-up last week.
Yep.
Getting beat at the line, basically.
She passed him on the outside. She rode her up the outside.
Great job to her.
Yep.
And this cat here, Nicholas Cusack, it's a good thing that season's just about over because this cat is on a roll.
Yeah, he's coming on.
The 3rd generation, They say, people have told me racing skips a generation. Well, I don't know where it skipped here. Because you had Ralph.
Right.
Glenn.
Yeah.
And now Nick. And, and Justin was a good racer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've never seen Andy behind the wheel,
No.
Maybe we get Andy a Car Wars ride or something. Right? Maybe that's a generational skip. But he's a heck of a promoter.
Yeah.
He might not be able to drive a lick, but that guy can promote a show.
Well, maybe it's whatever they do. Maybe it ain't just car racing. So.
Yeah. And then, what's the last one?
Billy Rogers.
Put himself in position to try to win that first champ. We're going to leave Beach Ridge next Saturday night with a first-time champion.
And somebody's going to be angry.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have the knuckles flying, I don't know. No, they're all pretty good. Trevor, Aaron, good group of guys. Yeah. Everyone, they've all, put themselves in position and, good luck to each and every one.
We've absolutely had a horrible year with our car. Just stupid stuff happening, nothing that we did wrong or anybody else. It's just been one of those years,
Everybody has them,
and we're sitting 4th. So
no, exactly.
Which we're like, we're 4th, thinking.
And then the Spud 150.
Yep.
Troy's. They've fought weather this year and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be up there this weekend. I know Sean Martin's traveling out from Oxford. They'll have some teams come from 95.
Yep.
So hopefully, everything works out for those guys. So, we had a good show this week. Congratulations to all the Oxford champions, the winners of the John Phippen race. And we'll see you next week right here on Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.